What up, YouTube? In today's episode, I interview Mason Coma. You may know him from Cedar State as the interview guy, but as I got to hear his life story, I saw that his character goes far beyond one title. He's an engineer, a first sergeant in ROTC, a painter, a comedian, a brother, a son, and the list goes on. But one attribute that stood out to me the most was his excitement for life. Listen as we discuss a three-step process of self-improvement, starting from no motivation to hyperfixation on one thing to learning the art of learning multiple disciplines. What is it like filming with someone like Salim from Nelk? What are different manifestations of addictions? Is the gym one? Is that healthy? What about AI comedy, 2-day rule? While sobriety may not be at the forefront of this episode, it was nonetheless fun to make, and one I think anyone could learn from. I appreciate people like Mason who make filming a podcast that much more enjoyable. All right.
It's not just that. It's like, what are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of the bar? And I think it's interesting too because like everyone chooses if they drink or not for different reasons. Like I have a lot of like athlete friends, gymnasts, wrestlers. They're not drinking more about the whole like recovery, fitness. Like it's not going to help you in any way physically to drink on a given night. So, but at the same time, they still like going out. And they like. They'll bring seltzers with them or whatever, just like not drinking. And like they also really don't go to bars, but they like going to parties that are not bars. Which I think is interesting because I feel like when you walk into a bar, you're walking into more rules, right? You got bouncers looking at what you're doing, I don't know. What's your opinion? What's your take on that?
I don't know at fucking really any athlete, so this was all just news to me. I'm like trying to maybe understand why they're doing that.
I feel like some football guys will drink, but I feel like, I know a lot of, especially wrestlers with cutting weight and everything, they don't drink. Gymnastics, they don't drink at all, so. And they like count, I know some people that count their like drinks throughout the year. Like I had 3 drinks this whole year, and it's.
Whole year?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like I wanted to celebrate one night, right? But there's also some guys will say, "Hey, like it's not a win if you're gonna like party after. It's just a setback at that point, So even if they do have like a good thing they want to celebrate, it's just gonna be a setback. If like they do good at some competition, they go back and start drinking. So
yeah, but I feel like they're like the exception and not the rule.
Yeah. But like. What is the rule? Like, are we like trying to follow? Like, is everybody supposed to be like some type of person? I feel like everyone can be their own exception. It's like your choice to do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, I feel like that applies to anyone.
What do you think about like maybe if people are like misguided, like they want to make a choice, but maybe like one choice is easier to make than others?
What do you mean by that?
Sort of what I'm trying to just go at is like, what do you think about like the whole? I don't know. When we're youngins, like when we're freshmen, sophomores, the whole joining into things, big hype around getting fucked up and everything. I don't know. Do you think it's a thing? Not a thing? You think it's important to
I think it's who you surround yourself with because freshman year was a cool thing for me.
I agree with that.
I just like it was COVID. I was a freshman. I mean, you're younger than you relatively as far as that goes. So I came to Penn State. It was COVID. It was like hard to find things socially. And that I was attracted to people like doing things more than anything else. But there's also, I know some kids were drawn into find some close buddies to drink with in the dorms, But for me, it was every time I go to the dining hall, sit down with a new group of people, eat lunch with them, you make some 5 new friends, 4 new friends.
Yeah.
I was about, going downtown, seeing people that I think I'd be like that are older, getting their Snapchats. I met Suber. You know what I mean? Just super, like, other people that you know.
Is that how you had?
Yeah, I met him, like, right at the beginning of freshman year.
Oh, so you guys didn't know each other from back home?
Saw one of his buddies on the street, like, connected with him. Then, no, dude, I'm from Pittsburgh, so.
You're from Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I thought you would have been from, like, media, where they're from.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, like, a lot of people I met were just from, like, small conversations on the street that's connected through Instagram or whatever.
So is that how the interview thing started for you?
What
made you get into it?
The interview thing, yeah. Well, are you familiar with Cedar State?
No.
You just follow me on Mason. Yeah, because that's what usually people, not usually people recognize me as. But yeah, so I made this Instagram account like freshman year. I could. What format of the story do you want? Do you want to know why I do videos or why I started like a social media platform? Because they're kind of different.
I think starting with videos first, and then I do want to hear about the social media part too.
All right, so in high school, I like made videos, right? I was in like broadcast class, and I just saw the impact that videos has on like a concentrated population as far as my high school went. It's like super influential. Like there was 1,000 kids that went to my high school. I started making videos, made an Instagram account, posting these videos, got in the school spirit, got in the fun stuff through the school, got like 1,800 followers at a school with 1,000 people. So not only were kids following the school, so were the parents. Like there was like everyone at the school followed, and like it was a huge thing, right? And like it unlocked a lot of opportunities. I think I was like every time there was a fundraiser, I was promoting it for people. I made a school dance that I also like DJ'd. I thought that was awesome. Like no way, like when you have a social media platform like with a direct audience that like it just unlocks more opportunities. So like I just thought it was very cool to do that. Get to Penn State, not making a single video. Like fall's going by, not doing any videos. I'm like, hey, like that's
Do you think
something
it's
I like
because
to
of
do.
COVID or?
No, just because I thought ROTC and engineering, like that's all I was going to be doing, you know, and like socializing. I thought like videos would just eat into my school and social time. But now, like look, senior year, my social time is videos. You know, like when I'm social, I have a camera. When I'm at an event, I'm filming, but also my friends are at the same event. So
Yeah, that's something that I think is pretty cool that you and I talked about is how like one thing that
Yeah.
you use for maybe like
yeah.
when you go out to socialize and have a fun time, you also bring your
Yeah.
purpose with you. You bring
Because-
your hobby.
Because a normal college kid, you could say like 10 hours of social time per week, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'd say I'm doing 10 hours of filming, but I'm filming social events. You know, even like if I'm filming an athlete, I'm making sure I'm like friends with the athlete first. So I'm not just there to work and be miserable. I'm there to like, you know, like almost hang out in essence, right?
Yeah.
And I found by doing it that way, there's more opportunity coming out of it. Like on the side note, I feel like I definitely met you before, but
Really?
I feel like you definitely look familiar.
Where?
I
Have you
probably
been waiting to
couldn't
say this?
No, I think no. I'm just thinking of it like, yeah.
I mean, I will say I do get it a lot that like, yo, you look familiar.
All right.
I feel like I met you before.
Well, it's like we all go to the same college, so you just don't
We
know.
might have met. So you're engineering though?
Yeah, I'm an industrial engineer. Yeah.
Engineering and videoing.
Yeah, then ROTC, as well, Army ROTC.
How the hell is that?
A first sergeant, so I'm in charge of like 72 people right now, which is it's a big responsibility, but it's teaching me a lot about how to lead people and delegate tasks, especially. So I feel like I never learned to be put in a leadership position as I am. It just helped me like just in life in general, just knowing that the type of person I want to be, not just being the type of leader I want to be as well, you know?
Mm. So you do ROTC, videoing, engineering.
Well, I mean, I do like a lot of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I like, because like, what if someone asks you, like, oh, what do you do? What's the first thing you say? You're going to say podcast?
Probably
Really?
podcast.
I just hate to, I don't hate, but I don't like to generalize myself to one thing. I just usually say, you know, I like to create, you know, and that could be creating an environment for the ROTC cadets, right? It could be engineering, you know. It's kind of just like doing schoolwork, nothing too special about that. I feel like that's the least impressive thing. But I like to oil paint. I like to make like SoundCloud mixes. I do the podcast. I do like the videos. But I do like different formats of videos though. I don't just do like one type.
I like know nothing about videos in general. I couldn't even, if you started listing off types of videos, I'd be
like a simple thing is like, well, I got a lot of projects here recently, the past year and a half, is I do vertical videos, which are like high in demand. Because it used to be all like horizontal, like things you could watch on your TV, but everyone's watching videos on their phone. So like, I got the vertical video thing.
What do you shoot that with?
Down. I got a couple cameras. Nikon Z6 usually. And if it's a good gig, that's, you know, I'll shoot like 120 frames per second, use like speed cuts and all this, and usually comes out with a pretty good product. Just like filmed for Celsius last week. And I don't know why I said that.
Why?
Because I film for a lot of people, so I'm not going to just sit here and list them all.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
But we were talking about Celsius.
Yeah,
then.
we were talking about Celsius earlier.
Yeah. So like,
yeah.
with that, so I don't know, with that podcast, you said like you do podcasts too. With that podcast, so you were just in one with Salim
From
Nelk, which is pretty fucking
It
cool.
was really cool. Yeah.
So were you in the podcast? Were you just filming? Like how?
Well,
what was the vibe of all that?
I was filming, but I was also in it, like towards the end. And the whole vibe is I've done podcasts in the past with some people, like 1-on-1, 3-person one, but this one was like a 7-person podcast, which was a challenge for sure. So
Because you were editing
my
it.
main thing is, like I feel like I learned a lot from cameras the last couple of years, and I knew for this, I could have definitely been in it the whole time, but a camera goes out and we have Salim doing a podcast, and it gets ruined because like the mic goes out or something, the video goes out. So I was trying to man the cameras, making sure that doesn't happen for the whole just for the sake of the whole squad. Then did jump in there at the end once I knew everything was going to be down pat. But it was an hour long. So, and then we had 4 cameras going. So I just didn't want anything to happen. I got very nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just bouncing around the whole time. This reminds me, I gotta make sure that this is on.
I was bouncing around, but I was also, like audio cameras, making sure like everyone wasn't doing anything. Like I stopped it a couple times, just like let's try to say this, kind of directing it away, but at the same time, obviously my voice is not the most important in the room. We've got like Salim, whatever he says,
That's kind of nuts.
He's our age too. He's 21.
Salim's 21?
Yeah, he started doing videos.
How did he get into Nelk and all that? Just making
He
videos?
was the same area as Nelk, and he was like doing print videos, and they just kind of asked him to join. So, and he's just like a normal guy. And that's the whole thing about videos. It's like it just unlocks more opportunities. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm like the best editor, one of the best. I just produce content in general, and people value that. People value like quick turnarounds. I'm just good at getting videos out the next day. That's like my thing. I'm not gonna let people wait 3 weeks for a video that I shot for them to come out. Like things in our generation are immediate. If a football game happens, like the whiteout, you don't want to watch it 3 weeks later when 2 other games going to happen. You want to watch it the next day.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I kind of elevated myself above other videographers, because even now on social media, like Mr. Beast will say it, like he purposely doesn't film his videos in like a cinematic professional way to make it feel more casual and relaxed. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but yeah, he totally like, even his cameras aren't on tripods, people are handhelding him. Like he purposely films it in a bad way to make it more captive to his audience.
Really? I don't know, like...
I'm not trying to do that, but you know what I mean? But
yeah.
Sometimes when you edit a video, over edit, it's a thing that exists.
It comes out. You can
It comes out.
Yeah.
When your color grading too heavy.
This is all stuff that I'm learning.
Yeah, when your color grading too heavy, when you just have like, especially like a lot of videographers do, they strip the audio out of all their clips and just put like a song over. I like to use like original audio from like the event to make it feel more real, make it feel like it happened.
Even if the audio is bad or what?
The audio's always been like at least some, like if someone plays a song.
Are you talking about like a mic or just like what your phone picks up or what the camera picks up?
So like crowd yelling.
Oh,
Crowd there yelling, not just some random crowd that I'm gonna put in that video. You know what I mean? Just like makes it feel like home. I don't know. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right, I could ask you a question to start too. Like, what have you done like while in college? Like, have you like been working on finding what you like, or like, I don't want to say talents for hobbies, but have you found like inspiration that you want to pursue down the road?
Well, this podcast is sort of just something for me that I really like. It's like before, I don't know, dude. Before I got sober and after I got sober, like that whole, I would say like 3-year span, I wasn't really doing a whole lot, I mean, I was either so focused on like just getting like fucked up all the time and just like going through the motions in life, like not really trying to do anything cool. Yeah. And then when I first got sober, like all I really was focusing on was like how to stay sober. I mean, I joined the boxing team, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Made that, and that was like a whole fun thing. But like in terms of like actively trying to go out there and find something for me to do,
Clubs are great.
yeah, I wasn't really doing much of that.
I think like this is a hot take, but I think like working out, doing fitness is just kind of like a mask for a lot of people. I think people involve too much what they do around going to the gym, being fit, posting about it. I think the gym or fitness should be used more as something you have to do and enjoy, and but inspiration, purposes would come from other stuff. Unless like I don't know, even if you pursue it heavily, the people that like are bodybuilders and you know
My brother.
going on stage, it's like it's not even like healthy for you at the end of the day. Like depending on who you are, like
Those
depending on your
motherfuckers
natural-
going on stage are like, I mean, they're roided up, so they're
Dude,
already
it's like-
point of no return.
And there's a whole culture right now like praising those people, but at the end of the day,
It is kind of
there's
nuts.
more purpose in life than just doing that. And for me, I just like art. I like creating, right? So what I started doing is like stand-up comedy, which is a different crowd that I hang around with normally, which I love. I think it's like it's just a whole, different experience than
I gotta hit you up about that.
yeah.
I wanna try
I just did a stand-up bit last night, and I tried new things.
It's like in front of who? Like how many people?
There was like probably there wasn't a ton. This time was the first meeting. It was raining last night, so it was like 25 probably. But
Still a lot of people.
at the same time, it was
So wait, is it 25 people that are all about to go on the stage too?
no like there's probably more than 25 people, like 30, but still nothing a lot. There was like 9 of us that went up, and I came up with this new idea. I'm gonna start using AI to write jokes and scripts. I think that'd be an interesting way because stand-up comedy is a lot about delivery and being original. AI will write original jokes, and I just have to practice on delivery and all that. I think that'd be a good thing I can go about doing. It'll be pretty interesting. I don't think anyone else really.
The AI comment.
I never like Googled it, but I feel like that'd be a pretty good way to be funny.
So what, like you give it like the idea of what you want the
I would
joke,
just like
and
prompt
they
it, and I
structure
could
it?
say like a style like a comedian to do it in. Could be like, hey, do this in Theo Vaughn. Make a joke about no, I'm not parking in college campus in the style of Theo Vaughn. He'd be like, man, I was more confused than a chameleon in a bag of Skittles looking for a lot. Like it's the parking lot on campus is rarer than Bigfoot, right? I don't know. Like I'm trying to act like Theo Vaughn right now, but like you can just go along with it. I'm just gonna spit you some things to say, and you take down what you like and just create something that is original.
All right.
I use ChatGPT all the time too. So like every time I do
ChatGPT.
a storyboard, I prompt the software to like create a storyboard for me, then just edit it from there, and then send it to a person, and they think like I just wrote like a 2-page storyboard for them, and I really
I
just
don't even know what a storyboard is.
like
really.
each scene and describe it in words, then like we shoot it, So like first 3 seconds of the video is gonna be this, that. Like goes by 3 seconds, and like I usually do like 30, 45-second videos. So like create all these like mini paragraphs about what each scene is gonna be, and I just edited it and prompted the software how to make that, but I really didn't like sit there and type it for an hour. So it's like a great way to be more efficient.
Honestly, I do that with the podcast. When I'm thinking of like ideas for the script.
ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it for mine part.
We're both just AI spitting right now.
No, you have to. Yeah. It's just like people that oppose it are just like not good with change in general. I think everything.
And I agree with you on this. There's so many people that are like geeked out of their mind about ChatGPT being the end of creativity. And I think it's the opposite.
Yeah. Because it's gonna be.
Because it saves you so much
It's gonna
time.
enable me to do more creative things.
Yeah.
So
Like, and it can also just help you like build a framework for something. Like, I know the questions that I kind of want to ask people. The hard part is like actually asking them. Some things that I'm trying to work on is I'll come up with all these ideas for a script, and I'm like, oh, this would be sick to ask them. I'm interested in what they say, and then A, I forget it, or B, I end up making it sound like it's a lecture and not like a genuine conversation. That's something that I'm really trying to work with through podcasts. So like I feel like right now we've been pretty good at like being conversational.
Because I think it's kind of weird. Like speaking is very easy when you're doing it to one person, but when you get in front of the audience too, it's difficult unless the audience has a video, because you don't see the audience. But there could be 1,000 people watching a video, and it's a lot easier to talk than a 1,000-person audience in person, right?
Yeah, like you're talking about.
But you still have the same effect.
Yeah. It's weird. Like sometimes I'll be like thinking about what to say or something, and then I'll just kind of feel like the pressure of the camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I get that. Like even now, like this is my, I guess, sixth time in front of the camera. I'm still.
I feel that more when I'm like talking to the camera, but I feel like I'm just talking to you right now, so I feel pretty good about it. That makes sense.
Yeah. Usually, like I'll spend a lot of time where like I'm looking at the camera, then I'm looking back at the person, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really work that well with me.
What? And I was also going to talk about like my whole like 2-day rule. It's a pretty fun one. It's just like people usually focus like live for the weekends, you know, look forward to like things where they're not doing work. But I just focus on today and tomorrow, and you know it'll just fall into place. You know, I'm just gonna. I Google Calendar, of course. You know, schedule it out, but I try to like fill every single hour of the day with something, or else. Because if I go back to my apartment around 3 p.m., you know, I'm gonna sit on the couch and go on my phone. But if I like, you know,
so you do it day by day, try to do it hour by
every
hour.
two days. So today and tomorrow.
That's what you mean.
Today and tomorrow, 2-day rule, I call it, and it just makes me the most productive every single day.
I actually like this because I was thinking, like I was just making like my calendar for the school semester, right?
I'll put like eating on it.
Okay, so you get really into it.
Well, like it just fills up the whole thing.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, I have like a schedule, and it's like whatever I'll fill in. Like I got this from this time, this at this time, classes, whatever. And then I'm sort of thinking, then I pair it with like I have a to-do list, and it's like if I don't actually schedule times to do the to-do list, then I'm just all over the place. But I like this where it's like if I could pick the third and the fifth one of my to-do list and block it into the 2-day thing.
Block it into the schedule because like I have to do this by Friday. Like procrastination is real. It gets me all the time. But you know, if you just like take every second, I just think for me the biggest problem I have is like sitting on my phone. I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
My screen time is like 4 or 5 hours.
That's probably even more.
Yeah, it's just gross to me. It's just I'm not getting anything done right now. And it's like, I guess like you could argue like the stuff you're watching is like culturally significant, you know, because I'm watching like Barstool and Snapchat and like, you know, like funny videos that like at the end of the day too are relatable and maybe can help me down the road, but at the same time it's like playing a video game. You're not really getting anything out of it as far as compared to videos, podcasting, creating something, anything, you know. Like,
yeah. What do you think of reading? You try to read?
I don't read too much, no.
No.
I definitely support it in a different situation, but at the same time, I feel like college is just an opportunity that you can't get back, and like reading while in college is just gonna take you more out of things that you couldn't be doing. It's not like a real hot take again, but reading before bed's like definitely good for you. And like
that's what I do. I mean,
my grandma's an author and everything. It's just like
really
the same. Yeah, she is.
You have
read her books, yeah. Like I'll definitely like read, like right, but like I definitely don't take time in my day to read because I'd rather like I'm really like I think like even so far today, like I feel like I made an impact on Penn State like cultures in general. I filmed like not just saying I like filmed fraternity parties. I filmed like 15 fraternities, made like rush videos for 3 sororities. I made like a camp college tour video, like an ROTC video, like how it is in the program. And I got stopped on campus the other day, like, yo, like, I saw you on YouTube doing the Penn State tour, like, really helped me, man. Like, you're really honest about, like, the school and everything. Same thing in ROTC video, the one I made. Some kid came up to me, like, I joined the program because I saw your video. I thought it was, like, hardcore and everything had to be this certain way, but you made it seem like I could do ROTC and still have a fun experience in college. And, like, I feel like I'm making it, like, just like that, making an impact in people's life. And even the sororities, like, someone will see my video, like, oh, I want to go Kappa. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like, what's that matter? But at the same time, it's like, geez, like, I feel like I'm directly like, impacting people. Like,
would you say that you're like a pretty hyper productive person?
I just get the
because so when you say that thing about reading, right? Like you could be doing so much more in college. I already know that there's going to be some assholes listening to this, specifically my friends, where it's like, oh, this guy does all this, and he says like, oh, you don't need to read. You're not gonna be like do it.
You don't need to do anything.
But
you
like, there are probably a lot of people though are like not even doing anything though. Like you, the reason why you're not reading is because you're doing cool shit. You're doing like cool shit.
It's like everybody has the same amount of time as day. I can say I'm busy, but everyone's busy doing something, one thing or another. If you're sleeping on the couch, you're busy sleeping. Yeah. But what do you want to be busy with in the day? I like to be busy with things that I'm gonna get something out of. Yeah. Something that's going. I want to be busy with things that are going to create more opportunity for me down the road. So I don't want to be busy doing something that is like. For example, just for me, like if I'm on my phone, if I'm playing a video game, if I'm watching a movie, that's me being busy for myself. If I'm creating, I feel like I'm having an impact on other people, and I feel like I get the most benefit, the most like fulfillment when I'm making an impact on other people rather than just myself.
You know, that's like that little last part there is what I ended my last podcast on. I said, like, if I could do anything through this podcast, it would be like to like two things. It was to help somebody who's like me, like make an impact with someone who's an addict, recovery, and then also to like, you know, push somebody to go do something that scares them. Yeah, that's like my big thing.
I don't think it's like necessarily like pushing, like make them do. Yeah, I mean, like obviously, like the best way for me to like come across fear, come across like negative thoughts is to like face them, and like especially for me, like I like to talk to like people about anything. Like some people even don't know. I like to just be open about like certain situations.
I mean, what you do would scare the shit out of a lot of people. Like going up and interviewing somebody in public would scare people. Doing stand-up comedy scare people.
Yeah, that scares me. Like like the interviews, like I feel like at this point I've been doing it for a while. But even the stand-up comedy, every time I go on stage, I'm nervous, right?
Yeah. And so like, why do you do it?
Because you can go to like a million public speaking classes, but you'll never feel the same way as you do stand-up comedy. Like you're making people laugh. You're trying to get them to laugh. Like you're trying to get them to like you too. It's like you just feel like so. Like you feel like you got to meet a demand on stage, and you feel like you got to win the audience. And if you could do it stand-up comedy, you could do it in anything because, like, you know, like people gotta like earn people's like time in a way. You know, because you don't make them laugh. Like nothing's worse than just like not like this thing's worse than this, of course, but just like you go up and like you're not funny. It's like damn, like
I consider myself like pretty funny. Like if when I'm with my friends, but I like the idea of going on stage and trying to make people laugh.
It's like different. It's like you can't. You're like.
Well, so what made you go from like one day you're like I want to do this to like now you're on stage?
I think too is like again like the opportunity aspect. You see all these like a lot of these actors started out stand-up comedians. It just gives someone a lot of things to talk about as far as experiences and like talking to people and coming up with ideas. Like it's fun. Like throughout the day when I get bored, like just think of some jokes or like something happened to me. I'm gonna make a joke out of this. And like it's fun. Like I can roll with that. You know, it's like
you gonna make a joke about the podcast today?
I mean. No, probably not. There's nothing really like funny. Like I mean, you could make a joke out of anything because you could take the original joke, then twist it and make something and like make fun of that twist, right? And I'm gonna use AI to do that. I can't. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, yeah. I told a joke yesterday. I was like, what do you get when you mix like an elephant and a rhinoceros? Elfino.
You made that joke? You came up with that?
No.
Fuck you then. What was this?
Elfino. It's like Elfino.
Yeah, I get that, motherfucker.
See, you laughed.
Yeah. Wait, I don't get it though. Was this like an AI thing or you just came up with this shit?
No, it was AI. No, wait. I don't know.
Elfino.
But like, dude, like every experience of everyday life, you know, like what's original to be exactly. Even myself, I'm influenced of like all these different things, and I'm creating. You're influenced from a bunch of different things, and you're creating. And who's not to say that someone influenced you to do this, right? And is that like partial credit to them, or are you 100% original? It's like I don't think that Elefante joke was original. I think I heard it somewhere, but me using it for today. In this podcast makes it like originally me saying original.
And the next person I tell, I'm going to say that you told me.
Yeah, sure.
Like, oh, this guy makes it.
Surprise someone. Yeah, I don't know. Just I think people get too caught up in like, you know, afraid to use other people's like stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all influenced by somebody else. So I don't know. I think that's pretty real.
Yeah.
But do you go to the gym a lot
Yeah.
besides boxing?
I don't box anymore. I gave up on that.
What do you do for fitness?
Gym.
Just gym? Do you like run or anything?
I actually got really into running, and I ran a half marathon and thought I was a
Jesus.
badass.
I like
And then I
biking.
fucked my fucking knee, tendon up here.
Oh,
It's weird. So now I'll just do stairs or incline.
mm-hmm.
I do more maintenance cardio so I don't look like fucking fat.
I'll ask this in this aspect, but once because obviously alcohol used to be prohibition and everything, and now marijuana is the same way. When it becomes federally legal, what do you think? At any point in your life, you might try it out or anything like that? Is because it's not drinking, it's a different substance, or are you just gonna try to stay clean like the rest of, I guess, as far as you could think?
Well, now drugs, legal or illegal, I tried them and was addicted to them.
Yeah.
My main problem
so you
wasn't even
think-
booze.
So you think it's gonna if you try them again, the same thing's gonna happen, even if you're in a different mental situation?
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
interesting.
convinced on that.
So do you think?
Soups thought this. Most people our age, dude, they cannot understand that that's my thought process. And one of the things is
Because I think you'd be addicted to anything.
no, yeah,
It's even obviously you see how many people are addicted to eating? 30% of the population maybe. But
Well,
obviously
yeah.
it's different than a substance by all means. But addicting to the feeling of being full, addicted to their phone, porn,
workaholics, porn.
work, yeah. But yeah, I mean the list goes. That's negative stuff. But you could be addicted to good things
I think then you would have to call it a different word. You wouldn't be able to use the word.
something that you do that takes over other aspects of your life.
I feel like then you could call that a passion. You know how some people will make a joke? I mean, maybe you never heard of a joke like this, but it was I'm not an addict. I'm just passionate. And that line is sort of blurry when it comes to things because I feel if you're addicted to your career and stuff, and it takes over where you're not hanging out with your family and stuff like that, you might be able to pull it off and call that a passion. But I mean,
yeah, I think addiction's bad when it makes you not the person you want to be.
yeah,
Because even in high school, I see
it all depends on how you feel, right, on the inside.
you could almost call this an addiction. People in high school will put 40 hours a week into a sport, for what? You know what I mean? To get a scholarship for college and maybe go pro. It's just interesting to me. I think a lot of people are addicted to sports, and people almost treat it as a religion. Get outside of playing it, gambling on every weekend, watching it every second they can. Obviously gambling's a negative one, but just watching it every day, keeping up with it. Every time they come across someone talking about it to them, who's that getting better besides yourself? Is that an addiction? Maybe. Is it? Are you bettering society, or are you helping everybody out? Really, no. I'm not a big sports guy in that aspect. As far as it, you're just kind of worshiping people that play. For what? For what? They're not really doing much. Besides playing, I don't
I'm just
know.
trying to soak up
You know what I
because
mean?
I
What does a football player really contribute to anything besides being good at football? And what does football contribute besides bringing the people together? And the people bringing the people together what for me makes sports good. But anything else besides that?
Well, on the last podcast, actually, the last guy that was on, Scotty, I don't know if I cut this part out, so I don't know if anyone else knows this, but he was why do we, it's so weird, why do we worship actors?
I think actors.
So I feel you would
are
have
more
an interesting take.
Yeah, I think actors for sure is just because as far as videos go, they just play in society so well. Sometimes I watch a movie like The Outsiders, I almost want to be like the actor. Who's your favorite actor or actress?
I love Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I like Patrick Swayze. So my whole thing is seeing a guy like that. He's Outsiders. He's older brother. He's in Roadhouse. He's in Dirty Dancing. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He passed away 50. I think it was 53 from cancer. But regardless, he was a manly man. Rode horses, but he also danced and did musical in high school. I did musical in high school. He did the things that usually guys would be afraid to do, and he was just awesome on camera, just being himself. He kind of played a similar character every movie. My favorite movie is Ghost that he stars in. I didn't even finish the movie. I was on a plane ride and I didn't get to watch the last 45
You
minutes.
still haven't finished it?
But it's still my favorite movie just because I love it so much. And I've been like, I think about it all the time. I didn't even finish the movie, but it's my favorite. It just goes.
So what? Because actors, what? Versus like, because there's people who would hear what you're saying and be like, well, I want to be like Tom Brady because.
Yeah, but like it gives you a false hope too. It's just like, but you could be an actor, depending on what kind of movie it is, without being in a movie. They're real people for the most part. You know? I mean, obviously you got Marvel and everything. Like that's a weird one, but even just the personalities of the actors in Marvel, like, it's something you do day to day. It's like just the whole thing of it, treating people a certain way that, you know.
Yeah.
Because there's good and bad guys in the movie, right? Everyone likes the good guy. Everyone doesn't like the bad guy. It like shows people almost subconsciously like how to be the good guy in life, you know, like stuff like that. And I feel like it's just a good. It's the best way to teach people how to act. It's not like sitting them down and be like telling them how, because sometimes just like it just adds to your life experience that shapes how you are, how you exist.
It's funny though, like because sports and movies are both huge throughout the world.
Yeah, and
you could argue
especially
America,
especially the movie scene. It's just like,
and
that's why a lot of like you go to different countries, especially like Europe. There's like a lot of like movie, like impacts from movies and music that they have in their culture, just because we make so much of it here, and that's why America's so popular. It's just because the amount of culture we push out to them, and there's
Hollywood is like.
Yeah, and that
probably one of the biggest things of America.
For sure, and like sports culture is not as dominant as movie culture when it comes to existing in a different country.
Yeah.
And so I say music's probably even bigger than movies in other countries because
our music.
I
mean, dude, I just came back from abroad, like I was saying, and I was in like 16 countries. And I thought, and dude, one of the funniest things I thought was, no matter where I went in the world, how remote it might have been, the convenience store is playing Taylor Swift or Adele.
Right.
Yeah. It's like nuts.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting like I'm going to be in middle of nowhere, like Indonesia or something. I'm going to hear like some crazy shit on the radio. T Swift.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Do you like EDM too? What kind of music do you like?
So I got into EDM like a little bit. When I was in Czech,
yeah,
my
right.
friends brought me to this festival that had Tiesto.
Yeah.
So that was pretty rowdy. I like Fred again a lot though.
Yeah, me too. Because I think EDM too is like, I don't like a lot of barriers because as soon as obviously a DJ's making it, so you get opinions on the DJ, but when someone's singing lyrics, like at the end of the day, it's like, do you really agree 100% with the person's singing about? Is it like whatever? But like EDM, you just can imagine yourself in that situation, right? And like especially in modern day, like it just, you can apply it to your like anybody in the room life, and everyone can just apply in their own way to them. It doesn't have to like be about some like country girl or like obviously like a rap song. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like you just kind of decide what you want to apply to. It's cool.
Make your own story a little bit with what's going on.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of why I like it too. I like that kind of like EDM style-ish music for working out.
People like lo-fi too. It's like
I really
it's
like
like
lo-fi.
less intense.
I like it for like study. But dude, I like like that art style stuff or like that crazy shit. That's the stuff I listen to. Like while
like
working
just
out.
drops and everything. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do. I got a DJ staying with me on Friday.
You got a DJ what?
You know D-Rock maybe? He's like a lot of DJs are coming out now because they're making like SoundCloud mixes. They're blowing up on SoundCloud, making videos to their music.
You said he's coming. What?
This Friday.
Coming where?
Penn State.
And you're gonna film him?
And he's gonna stay. He's staying at my place too. So.
How do you know?
Through Instagram.
So wait, you guys don't know each other, and he's just gonna stay in your place?
Before. He knows come my buddies, but yeah, like
That's pretty funny.
Last time I talked to him since 2001 on Instagram, right? Because I was making videos of college and he was doing videos of college, and now all these years later, like he's coming to Penn State, like he needed a place to stay. He's in contact with my other friend through a fraternity, and now we're gonna do some work together, some good videos, and
what is maybe like a dream situation in your life if you could be doing something full time if you had to?
Full time.
Yeah, like do you
like
want to?
right now I'm living the dream, and tomorrow I'll be living the dream. I don't know past that.
Nah, day at a time.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I think the route I'm going right now is just like every single day I'm getting more opportunities. So I don't think I'm gonna like put myself in a position or tell myself that I have to be in this certain thing to be fully happy, because it's all relative. Like, if I told you, I mean, I'll use the Nelk example, I guess. Like, if you would have told me freshman year I was going to do that for an Elks year, if I would have kept up with what I was doing, I would have been like just looking up to the moment I met him. But I found out the week of, and it's like almost like a little treat.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
pretty
mean?
badass.
So like, if someone told me again like 2 years ago, like, dude, if you keep up what you're doing, you're gonna be up one day, and then I would do everything I was doing just for that. But I don't want to do everything I'm doing just for one thing. I want to just experience as it comes. You know, take everything. Like right now, I'm just like loving it. Like right now, I'm loving it. Like everything. I just like walking to class, like going to class. Just so college right now. I love it. And like after college, I plan these opportunities I made here to just continue.
So you're gonna do
I'm gonna do videos for the rest of my life, like no doubt. Like why would I ever stop? It's like a passion, I guess.
Yeah.
It makes me like capture something that like lasts forever. It's like, create. And as I get more busy doing other things, I'm just gonna be making more videos for myself rather than other people. That's all it is. But the more freedom I have, I'll just start making more videos for other people. You know, it's like this semester I'm doing videos for both. Like I'm also like right now PSU Barstool a lot, making like 2-3 videos a week for them. Like Cedar State, my own video account, like whatever, probably once a week for that. Then like wrestling, always going there, getting videos for those guys, and whoever else
Cracking
has
out
like
the
sororities
videos.
or fraternities.
So like your sort of message is like, I don't know, like you're kind of just doing what you want to do.
You're the same way. I'll like be honest. Like I'm a videographer. Like I'm smart enough to learn. Like you show me an example. Like when people ask me like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "Hey, send me an example." Like I can replicate pretty much anything. I have the camera stuff to do it. Like it's just gonna take me more time depending on what it is, and like a couple YouTube videos, and that just makes me more diverse. And then like, especially when I'm in the learning phase, I'm not gonna like ask for a bunch of money, and I just have that on portfolio. So when the next person asks, "Yo, can you make a video like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Let me send you some examples," and boom. And it's like, I also don't charge anybody if like they're not making money off of it, especially if it's like for like their business or something that is starting off. I also do that. I like live by that. Because like you know how many people gave me opportunities when I started out. And I'm love to give other people opportunities with the platform I already have.
Nice.
Like met with this one guy when I was a freshman. He was a senior, and he had a bunch of content, like videos, like freshman year, but they kind of like disappeared. I'm like, dude, but why not? He's like, join a fraternity, and I just kind of like changed focus, right? Like, I still love it, but it's just hard trying to balance everything out. And it's all about, and I love, like, people say this, I heard it before, it's like, I don't have enough time for this. It's like, no, you didn't. It's not really, that doesn't exist to me. You have time for anything you want to do. Everyone has the same amount of time for anything they want to do, but is it a priority enough to make it what you're going to do, actually? And for him, like, his priority changed into something that was temporary and, like, as far as, like, social fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
And I like the whole idea of videos is, like, videos forever, in a way. And not just it lasting forever and creating something, but also has a direct impact on how people think and feel as soon as they watch it. You know, especially making, like, real Penn State videos. Like, my brother moved to LA, right? So moving in, and his one roommate's friend was like, dude, like, Penn State looks so fun. Like, I saw this video. He pulled it up. It was my video. I was like,
Not bad.
fuck. Yeah, I was like freaking out. Like, dude, like, so you're telling me there's people in LA just like casually watching my videos. Obviously don't know it's me. It was one I made for a fraternity and just sent it to the fraternity, right? And his buddy in the fraternity sent it to him like through the link and everything. You know what I mean? Because again, I don't post it on like Instagram. And he ended up seeing it. So then that like kind of changed his perception of at least our college. And so I think that's like awesome for me, I think.
I think you and I can agree with that.
And the podcast, people watch this and like, oh, dang, that's cool. Like, you just change. Because, like, art in general, like, if it made you feel something, good or bad, that's what makes it art.
The podcast is
My
art.
friend said that. My friend Joseph Yonkey said that.
Say it again one more time.
Oh yeah, it's like if it makes you feel something good or bad, that's when you know it's art.
Good or bad.
It doesn't make you feel anything. It's like, I don't know, what would you call that? What would
Shit.
you call that? Just kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like shapes and colors. That's all anything is. Just shapes and colors.
A little bit of sound.
Like for videos at least, but like I think like going on the whole like judging people off Instagram we talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like even what people wear anymore, it's like I definitely judge people, which is like sometimes not the best thing to do, but they walked out of their house like, trying to represent themselves what they wear. It's not like a whole like money thing. You're not wearing designer. I don't like you. I like people that thrift clothes like me. These pants are thrifted, but the shirt is, you know what I mean, and the shoes are. So it's like, I always replace the shoelaces, and I don't wear logos on anything. So I think
Logoless?
I'm a logoless.
Really?
Yeah.
There's this brand over in Japan that I liked a lot when I was over in Singapore called Muji, and their whole thing that they preach is everything they make you wouldn't be able to tell it was made by them.
Yeah.
You should check them out.
Banana Republic is like the American one for that.
Yeah.
I don't wear too much of them again because it's like I can't really afford to be dripped out Banana Republic, but usually the thrift store, you know.
Yeah.
I found some good stuff.
So like,
good for the environment.
yeah. There's just something that I wanted to like go back on. You were talking about we were sort of like touching on the idea of what makes something an addiction versus maybe a passion, or like you have time for this or you don't have time for that. Like, dude, this is something that I really think about a lot, and I'm sort of just wondering what you think about it too, though.
Like, what do you mean by like what makes something an addiction?
Like, how do you view something as being like a healthy thing that you do versus, because you were talking about weightlifting, right?
This is crazy.
And hiding something.
I'll say this again because like again, this is like an opinion that not everyone will agree with, because I know especially the athletes do. They're dedicating their whole life to one thing, right?
Yeah.
Right now,
A lot of people do that.
and they can't keep up their whole life, and they know that. They can't do the same sport their whole life, and they know that, right? So it's like I talk to some of them, and they're like my thing is I want to like put all into one thing, be the best I possibly be at this one thing, and master it, and that fulfills me. My thing is I want to try as many things as I can. You know, try or fail. Like, see if I like it. See what clicks. See what works for me to meet people. And like for me, like I like videos. I meet a lot of people through videos. Got a lot of opportunity for that. So hey, I'm gonna hang on to that. But let's try some others. Let's try painting. Let's try to make SoundCloud mixes. Let's try to like get into cooking. Let's try to like get into healthy eating. Let's try to lift at the gym. Like let's try to get my weight up at the gym. Oh, I don't really like that one. I'm gonna start doing more cardio. Like just keep on changing.
Variety.
Like trial and error, and like figuring out what you like. And at the same time, is like getting what you learned and talking about it to other people in a situation like this. Like when people ask me like how I'm doing, I never just say good. I actually give them something that's like relevant to the day or like yesterday. Like say how I'm actually doing. Oh yeah, like dude, it's like, oh, how you doing? Oh, like just got out of class, grabbing some food. Then like tonight I'm gonna do
Podcast with that.
podcast with me. I told 3 people today. I was doing a podcast. I asked them, like, oh, what are you up to? I told today some guy named Nick asked me to do a podcast. So I'm going to do that around like 5.
Hey, dude, I was like, when I asked you, like, do you want to be on a podcast? You were like, yeah, when? I'm like, next couple of days. And you're like, bet.
Yeah, dude.
I asked you on like Saturday.
That's the other thing, dude. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you were like,
I just like believe in like, if like not just all talk, I'll do it eventually. Like, I'm immediate. Right, the whole 2-day thing. I just put it on my Google Calendar as soon as you told me like 5 o'clock on Wednesday. I just knew I was gonna.
Yeah, when you told me, when you responded back, you're like, I was like, yeah, how's this, whatever, and you're like, yeah, I got it in at like 5 o'clock on my calendar or something. I was like, yo, this guy's legit.
Yeah,
He's
the
not
Google
here to fuck
Calendar is
around.
huge.
Yeah,
I
I
put it on
like
my
it.
phone and my laptop. Put all my classes on it. And
This girl that I'm friends with, she showed me the ways of Google Calendar.
just got on.
Lydia, shout out.
Shut up. Yeah, but what's the one thing you want to do this semester? Like different besides podcasts, because obviously that is like different and new. You gonna join any clubs? Comedy club maybe? Powerlifting club? Ski club? Snowboard club?
Well, I got 3 goals for this semester.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get the best GPA I've ever had at Penn State.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a job, and I'm trying to make this podcast something meaningful.
Yeah. I think sometimes though, let me think about this quote. It's about the handshakes. It's not about the grades you get, it's about the handshakes you make or something. It's like, there's a quote, I don't know, someone said to me, it's like, it's not about the GPA sometimes just the opportunity of meeting the right people.
I believe it.
Yeah. So even like this Friday, I'm doing like a video. Like, I'll charge upwards of like $1,300 for a video, but like I'm doing this video for free. I'm not saying that like it's under my value and like I'm better than that. It's just because I see opportunity in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if I get opportunity out of something, especially this part of my life while I'm in college, that's more valuable than anything else. Like if I ever move to a new area, I'm just gonna offer like all these places like free videos. They're just gonna value me in a different type of way because it's gonna be like professional grade videos for free for them that people are gonna. I like when people appreciate me, and I feel like sometimes just taking that step of, giving them something that not everyone can offer, like as far as a video.
You're like an open source. Like
what do you mean by open source?
You're kind of like your own ChatGPT, like a human. Like you're an open source.
Yeah.
You'll offer the service for free, and then you'll spread the awareness.
Oh, and I like
and then offer the
this
premium
too, like,
service later.
This guy asked me to do a video for his small business the other day. He's like, dude, like I would love a video if you could like help me out doing it. And he just started this business. Like, I'm just starting this business. I'll help you out with the video. I'm like, dude, I'll actually show you how to make a video.
Dude, I mean,
I feel like that's way more beneficial for him than me ever making a single video and just sending it to him.
Dude, you mentioned something like this earlier, and I've been like tempted to say it this whole time, but like I also just started this, and also I'm trying to make like a cool video.
Yeah.
Show me. Help me out.
Yeah. I feel like videos too, and like all this digital stuff is like everyone's learning at the same time. Like everyone will base a podcast off Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan took a long time to get where he is today.
I keep telling myself that. I actually saw this thing today was your first of anything will suck, but you'll never get to your 100th until you do your first one. It's kind of like what you're saying with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I just saw like his podcast count is almost at the year that we're in, dude. He's almost at 2023 podcasts. That's like fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Because with me, like my first video got like a lot of views and stuff, and I like a lot of views to what I thought, and it's just, there's been less and less people per video, and so now I'm like in that sort of stage where I'm thinking about like, what do I even want to do with this? And I just keep telling myself like, I actually like doing this. I feel like this is cool.
Yeah, I think it's sweet, and you learn so much from talking to people like for an hour at a time.
Yeah, I would have never met you. I wouldn't have hung out with like all these other people who I've hung out with. I wouldn't have these sort of conversations.
You build a different kind of connection after talking about things.
Your brain just like learns in a new way.
And how often are you talking to someone this long without looking at a phone or like getting distracted or like no one else is around? Like one-on-one conversations are rare, especially nowadays. Unless it's with like a significant other, like a girl. For me at least.
Yeah. Or like, yeah.
Because like there's like a lot of, like especially in college, like sometimes you just don't really sit down with the homie and just like talk about everything. But if you're like hanging out with a girl, like what do you talk about? Yeah. That's a take. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I think just gender, like for everything, should be like less. Like all right, this is a rough take, but like think like when people apply to something.
You're on a roll with the rough takes though. So.
Yeah, when people like apply to something or anything, it's just like why do they have to put their race and gender at the end of the day? Like why can't everyone just like put their name as like who they are and what they did and what they're involved in, what they think when applying to college or something? Just like why do you even like at the end of the day, why do you even have to have a name applying? You should be like your mindset going into it, doesn't matter if you're boy, girl, anything. It's like but obviously like they have to fill like quotas and everything. But yeah, just like to make it all more fair for everybody. But at the end of the day, like,
Well, I think there's also just like a huge level of just like superficial bullshit that goes on. I mean, if we're going to talk about that stuff, where it's like
it's not really
people act like they care about this stuff, but they're just doing it to save their own ass.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I can't really speak on that part of it, but it just, I think down the road, it's just gonna get like almost like the world's gonna be more like an EDM song. Just like it's gonna be more focused on what you do and how you treat people rather than like. I think I'll tell this. This is something I strongly believe in. I don't think anybody should ever be judged by how they're like about something they were born into, something they can't fix. Like, I had deformed ears when I was born. Like this one didn't have any like lines, and it was just like flat out, like straight, no cartilage. I got like plastic surgery on it twice, but that's something I could not like. Relatively, like, I was born with, right? But things that people can fix in their lives, like working out, being productive, being creative, getting the most of their time, influencing others to do good things, and being a nice person. That's what you can judge people based off of. Not things they can't change. Not like color of skin, not height, not if they're deformed in some way, if they're not as mentally capable as one another. Just how.
Because nothing is also, I mean, it's something to point out with what you're saying now too, is like none of these things are bad. But if you start like, because addiction's one of them too, right? I'm trying to apply it to myself.
If you go to the gym every day, you're eating really healthy, and you're locked in, you're loaded. Like every day, you're getting up at 5 a.m., grinding over your classes, going to bed every night, getting up at 5 a.m., grinding over your classes, eating right, whatever. You're not going out on the weekends because you're on the grind. You're getting bigger and stronger. Like, who are you really helping at the end of the day? Is that really good for you? Is that really like your impact on the world? Just going to the gym and being strong and like making people feel intimidated?
Well, this is something
I work out. Like, obviously, like you're bigger than me, so like I feel like old. You know, like that means more respect at the end of the day, depending on who you ask. But I believe in fitness. I believe you have to get out there every day for an hour and work out. But like, why can't we just go mountain biking together for an hour? Like, why does it have to be? Like, why can't we do fun workouts? Or why does it have to be like gym and getting big as you can? Right? Just like at the end of the day, you just gotta do like any activity. Right? It just is kind of funny how our culture is going into the whole like lifting thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of like.
I by all means I lift, but I'm just talking about the people that like make it their personality.
So you just talked about two things right there. You talked about one, not really like mentioning about like why do we take all these things into account, like whatever.
Can I do backwards no cap too? Yes.
You know, I was thinking about doing that actually. I was like, should I do? So check it out. And actually, I think it looks better on you like that.
Yeah.
All right, but like when you were talking about, okay, your height, age, race, whatever, all those things that you can't control, so you shouldn't judge people on that.
No.
Okay, that was one part, and then we were back on the workout part again. But something that I wanted to talk about.
Workout's just an example. Like you can apply to anything.
Yeah.
But just like people that dedicate like all their time to one thing, I feel like it's just not. I don't think it's the best for you mentally because then you're just taking that one thing and comparing yourself to other people with just that one thing. When I think you'll bring more value to yourself in your everyday if you're just capable of doing as many things as many things. And that was capable of me because I'll never be the strongest guy. I'll never be like the best looking guy. I'll never be the tallest guy. But I know for sure that I'm pretty confident and I do a lot of different things that I can, I feel like I'm like interesting to some people. And that's not because I think I like deserve it. I just feel like it's just kind of a side effect of doing it.
Yeah.
And doing it I don't do it to be interesting to people. I do it because I feel like I find the most purpose out of it.
What my sort of goal is with the podcast is, so you're kind of already beyond the idea of being inspired and like whatever, doing things with your life. My message to a lot of people who are also like me was like, there was nothing that they were doing, nothing that they're interested in because their whole interest is all around like getting fucked up. So my point here is like, okay, if you can go and fucking find the gym and that's the one thing that you'll do that's productive in your life, because all you've been doing before is doing something that's really, really not beneficial to anyone, like just drinking and using all the time, then go do that thing.
There's things that are better than other things.
Yeah.
I think it's an
But I like
the gym's better than that. But I feel like at the end of the day, you're just gonna get body dysphoria, right? Even the biggest bodybuilders in the world have it. They're never gonna be satisfied doing that.
Yeah.
It just for me, it's something you can do. It's something that's better than most things to do. But at the end of the day, like, I don't get fulfilled from it, and I don't understand how other people are fulfilled from it.
Well, two things. One,
Yeah.
I like this idea of like maybe this is like another thing I could say is where like if you're not interested in anything, find one thing you like. When you find that one thing you like, then try to branch out so that you don't become too fixated on any one thing.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Like with athletes, you were talking about with bodybuilding,
Yeah.
with literally anything you do, if you just make that one thing your life, then like, what are you bringing to the table? But also the thing, fitness and health and all that is sort of a crazy thing because it's like if you're not doing it, you're looked at as bad, right? Then if you're doing it to the extreme, it's also like
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be in your life, but I don't like the whole like.
but it
thing
sort of
about-
ties in with everything: balance, moderation.
Motivation is thought to be the gym right now. Like people think as motivation as in working out. I think motivation goes so far beyond that, and you can do motivation can be you doing way more meaningful things than just going to the gym. Because I think going to the gym is meaningful to yourself, and your true impact and your true like growth comes outside the things you do every day. Outside of like eating, the gym, your school. Like your school still matters, right? Like down the road, but the things you do outside of that are going to be like the things you remember, the things other people remember about you, and like will just make you me. I can't speak on other people. I keep doing that, making me at least more fulfilled at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel you. It's hard
You know what I mean?
not
It's
to
like-
speak.
I'm not
But
like
I
everything I'm
agree.
saying is like not like relatively my opinion, but what I've been doing so far has been working like awesome for me.
Yeah.
Because like because people like always have to have like something to look at. Like I see people like really into religion, really into the gym, really into sports. Like I said earlier, like a lot of people like grab hold of one thing and make it a lot about them. And when you ask them what are they about, they'll say that thing. But I'm trying to get away from all of that and just being like, hey, I'm Mason Coma. Like I'm what I am today. I'm like who I am in front of you. I'm not a videographer. I don't want you to think of me as a videographer. I don't want you to introduce me as a videographer. I just want to introduce me as Mason. I'll see what I can find similar interests I have with this guy. I'm more likely to find a similar interest with a new person I meet because I'm trying everything out.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, like before I even met you today, I'm like, so he does like the interview, the videographer, the stand-up, and the podcast. I'm like, I don't even know what like to really introduce you as.
Yeah.
And then here you go,
Yeah.
engineer, ROTC.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit. Cool stuff though.
I also introduce what I do depending on who I talk to. That's another thing I want to talk about real quick.
Alright.
What's your opinion on acting a different way around certain people? Like, do you think it's fake?
Dude, it's like something that like, well, first off, that's something that I've really learned through my journey through sobriety is like this whole idea that I'm never able to really escape myself. It's like when I would get fucked up, I'd find it easier to go talk to people, obviously.
Oh.
I'd find it easier to do anything, really. But in the long run, it made things harder because then I get that, hangover effect, that anxiety that builds up. So through sobriety with me, through this fucking podcast, I'm just trying to paint an image and just find like who I am, really.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I'm trying not to be how I was, where I would try to be and mold in different scenarios. Like, if somebody is more intimidating and I don't really like talk, and I might like try to change to make them happy in a conversation, like fuck that, I'm gonna try to be who I am.
Yeah, but I think I mold to a lot of people.
Okay.
So like, I like to use an example. Like, would you be the same way around your friends as you would their parents, your friends' parents? Like, no. But are you a different person because of that? No, you're just adapting to the situation, becoming more in tune with what people like, being more compatible with people in a way. You know what I mean? And I think there's a value to whoever you're with adapting to be like them, so that so you just can connect with them more if you like carry some of their tendencies. You know, like all of a sudden, like, and it doesn't make you a different person. Just you're just trying to be more like someone, just bond better. I think sometimes I do that a lot, and like people around me will even like call me out and be like, hey, yeah, like it's on purpose. Like I'm not gonna hide it. You know, it's like not even like call me out. Like damn, like oh you're acting a little like different when you hang around like this person. Like I mean yeah, I am. That's a hard one, right? Like, for example,
you make it sound good.
If I'm hanging out with athletes and they're all this like, it's like not everyone, of course, but like, so like a football player or something, like act like really confident, everything. Like, I was like, act like I'm like that confident, like whatever. Like, if I'm hanging around with like a group of girls and like I'll act like more feminine, to be completely honest. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna act like that, like hard dude that I act with, like, how I act with athletes, how I talk to athletes, I'm going to talk to a group of girls. Like, does that change who, like, I am? Is that, like, me not knowing my identity? No, just me knowing that I can adapt to any situation and I'll better my relationships by doing so.
So this, like, structure of who you are and being able to change is beyond just what you do. It's also, like, how you interact with people, too. I feel like you're somebody who never tries to be one way. It's hard to put you in a box.
Yeah.
It's
I'm always thinking outside of it. Oh. No, yeah. It's like, because I'm just kind of, I think the main thing is, I don't want to look back, because I do this a lot over the summer, because I'll look back at something and be like, oh, I didn't really do everything I wanted to do. And that does happen. But while I'm at school, I don't want to ever look back when I'm older on any part of my life and be like, I could have done more. I want to put it all on the line, 100%. I feel like that's a good one too.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, like that'd be the worst. Like getting in 4 years of college and looking back, it's like, oh, I could have done more. I really can't say that so far. Senior year though, let's go, ready to rock.
Yeah, so, I'm out of here in December, so
wow,
a little bit even shorter. Mm-hmm. That's like, I mean, I already said, my like career in college has been sort of crazy. Definitely not like a normal one. Like I went abroad and did like all these things, COVID and whatever, but I do also, so to go back to that whole like GPA thing, right? Like GPA shit, like to me, the reason why I want to get like my highest GPA is because this semester doesn't matter, right? So it's something that I just want to like prove to myself, because there's so many times, dude, when the GPAs roll out and like I see my grades, almost all the time it's just because I was just lazy and missed something.
If you get a higher GPA, it will guarantee you more opportunities than the people that don't. And I'm like, that's when I'm making a lot of decisions, I ask myself, will this give me more opportunity if I do this, or if I make this decision? If it does give me more opportunity, especially in the time and place I am right now, I am very likely to do it. Yeah. Getting a good GPA does give you more opportunities coming out. But does getting a good GPA take away a lot of opportunities that you could be pursuing?
Fuck yeah.
So you just gotta like, everything comes with a balance, you know, and the priority, like for me, priority is just really just getting the degree.
That's your number one priority right now?
Getting the degree, yeah. Like, I'm not trying to get A's, I know I'm not. So I'm just trying to get, I like B's, I'm a big B guy.
But you're also in engineering, so.
But I'm not afraid of that. But yeah,
a little bit harder.
I could have done better over these last 3 years I had. I feel like I got school done pretty well. Or I know what to expect, I know what to study for, but again, like I am always room for improvement. Every day I'm learning. I'm never gonna stop learning. Like people that think they're gonna stop learning after college is like, they're the people that can't adapt. People that can't like really get the most out of like the rest of life. Like you always gotta be learning. You always gotta be adapting.
I feel like how you talk and like your message and shit like this, like a lot. Do you like know like how few people really like do what you do or say what you do or think how you do?
I think it's funny when people like first talk to me, they just think I like party all the time and I sound like an idiot because my voice is all raspy. I think it's hilarious. So, like some people like they just think like I'm some random kid, which like at the end of the day I am, of course, but I feel like
I know what you mean.
Like I feel like I have some value to a lot of different areas that just make myself more meaningful in my eyes to the people around me. You know,
You're not afraid to like be you though. Yeah, you're not afraid to like try.
But I'm also not afraid to act like a certain way to get people like me.
Yeah. You
that sounds terrible when I say it like that. But I'm afraid to try anything. You know? And it's not even
It's a good
acting,
message.
it's still me. Like, I feel like everything's an act. Like, even this podcast, like, I'm just deciding what to say right before I say it. You know, I know people will be watching it, so I know, like, trying to be a certain way to the people I want to perceive me as.
I guess I can
like,
say the same.
You're not even truly yourself, like, at all. Unless, like, your own thoughts in your head, maybe. But even those thoughts are influenced by other things.
Dude, you better crack my brain in half.
But, like, it's not even that, like...
It's true, though. Like, I don't know. If you ask a lot of people about, like, how they think of me, like, they'd be like, yeah, he's the number one fuck-around guy. Like, he fucks around a lot. But then on this podcast, I'm at this weird point where I'm like, do I want to fuck around? Am I trying to be serious? Like, who am I trying to be on this?
A lot of people in high school would be like, oh, you're, like, jackass, or whatever. Like, just... Like,
I definitely got the jackass label.
Like, you just send it, you know, like, do whatever. Like, you're not afraid. And, like... Yeah, I'm still will do whatever, and I'm not afraid, but I understand now that it's not just reputations, but people perceive me as is important, and the things I do, I want to make them more meaningful than just do something stupid. But I'll do something, you know, random that I know is just, I'm going to get something out of it. I don't, I'm trying to take that one in the wrong turn, but I've always been the same, like, charismatic kind of guy. But I'm now applying.
It'd be hard to take anything you said like as a bad way, like the wrong way. I feel like, yeah. You got a good way of saying things though, so it's like it never really sounds bad.
Yeah.
Even though in your head it might.
It sounds like with a little bit of rasp. Yeah, but it is what it is. It's just like, again, something I've been born with, I guess. So nobody can judge me from it now. It's fun. It's good. Either way, I guess we'll kind of like end it on a good note. I feel like the talk today is like, even for me, like, I just love this kind of stuff. I want to keep it up. And even like one time we can do a podcast in my place, and I can set up cameras too. I'd love to do it again. But Nick, you're
You mean that, yeah?
boy. Yeah,
I would like to do it again.
I never after that. I never know if people are going to.
That's actually sometimes like if I'll be like, you know, they might look like a snapper, might not look like a snapper. I'll like sometimes do it, sometimes won't. I'll do it like so they don't even hear. I'm always a snapper.
It's about the area you're from.
Yeah.
Something influencing the snap. Yeah.
All right. So.
I don't know. I just think about it all the time. Like, dude, everyone's influenced by one thing or another. But what kind of influence do you want to have on those other people? Because, you know, everyone's getting influenced. But what do you want your influence to be on other people? What do you want to add? Do you want to add to that influence? Or you just want to be part of the influence that's already happening? I like to add, I think. I feel like adding's pretty fun.
I'm trying to add too.
You are adding. You're not trying.
Yeah.
You are. there's a difference. Like, you are. Because, like, people, you know how many people, like, talked about, like, possibly doing podcasts and, like, probably in their room right now, oh, we should start a podcast, but they're not.
This is the thing I was getting on you about like what made you fucking do the comedy thing. It's like it's the same with the podcast. Dude, there's so many people that told me I want to do a podcast. I'm like, dude, I didn't even have a mic.
Yeah.
I had my friend's tripod.
Yeah. Last night I thought about skipping comedy too, and I was like, you know what? No.
That was wild. I was like passed out when I replied on your story that you were up there. I'm like, I know this fucker's gonna be up early tomorrow too.
It was late night, yeah. And at like 10:30, then went to bed at 1 editing videos, and woke up at 5 a.m. to be a first sergeant that I wanted to do. So
I really like can't imagine you doing that. I'm like trying to picture this.
Yeah.
I might have to like go somehow pop out and see how
you
this
can
goes.
for by all means. Yeah, we're gonna bring your friend the PT. So
That's
because again, like, do I act the same way right now as I do as a first sergeant? No. Is that me being different? No. I don't think it's me being different at all. It's like me adapting to the circumstance, and like the military taught me that a lot. Like, you gotta act a certain way during certain times. You gotta know when it's like play. You gotta know when it's serious.
Like, it's wild,
and that applies to all aspects of life. So yeah, for sure. Because I mean, like, I feel like it just could unlock more opportunity down the road. It's gonna like teach me the things I need to learn to apply those things down the road. That's me, right? It's just coming from right there. It's like I'm learning so much from the program. And just like military tendencies, I'm gonna apply them my whole life, and I wouldn't be as disciplined today if it wasn't for that. I wouldn't be waking up early if it wasn't for that. I'd be waking up earlier than some other people, but not as early as I am now. Not like motivated as I am now. Not like prioritizing, like you know.
Because you know how in a lot of people's head though, like the military can kind of
So
seem like the opposite of who you are.
yeah,
It's something that takes away creativity.
I think for a lot of ROTC kids, that's why they put me in a good leadership position, is showing people that how like military isn't just one person. Like it isn't just a stereotype. It's like anything else, like any other organization. Like you could be who you want to be in it, and influence people in your kind of way. Like I influence people by showing how it's fun. Like working out could be fun. Like for like us,
Mountain bike for an hour.
yeah, it's like you group workouts and waking up early. Like it doesn't have to suck. I try to bring out the fun of it, like having little competitions, and did a soccer game this morning where if the team would score, would make the other team do a workout and like back and forth, and like I was sweating, everyone was sweating, but everyone was having a great time.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Episode
Sure.
5.
I would do a fist bump and then I'll snap. Yeah.
All right, we're signing off. All Cap No Brim.
Yeah,
Peace.
something like that. Yeah.